Good morning. I'm Sandra Bloodworth, Director of MTA Arts and Design, and I'm joined today by David Florio, who is the MTA's Chief Real Estate Officer, and Mira Atherton, who is the Senior Manager at Construction and Development. I have a very special guest, who is Idea Rude, from the Whitney Museum of American Art and our colleagues at the Whitney. The MTA is delighted to be partnering with the Whitney on the agency's efforts to bring arts and culture to former and currently underutilized retail spaces throughout the subway system, making it here, New York and the Whitney Biennial. Don't you love that title? I surely do. The installation is at 3 subway stations in 3 boroughs, and I hear that there's going to be some very interesting art making along the way. Working with the Whitney and other like-minded organizations is an opportunity to continue building cultural and community connections for our ridership, enlivening stations through art-focused special installations and events. This project reflects the MTA's enduring commitment to building community through creativity, which has long been part of the DNA of the MTA system. But it was formalized with the founding of Arts for Transit, which now known as Arts and Design, and the department that I lead. In 2012, when then art critic for the New York Times, Randy Kennedy, wrote an editorial, he said, "The most underrated art museum in New York is the subway." Today, we have around 400 works of art in our underground art museum to delight our customers. One reason we're delighted about today's announcement is that 54 of the works in the MTA collection are artists who have appeared in the Whitney Biennial, the longest-running survey of contemporary art in the United States. Now, these installations can be found throughout New York City and beyond. A few of examples of the artists in our collection who've been featured in biennials include Jeffrey Gibson at Astoria Boulevard and James Little at Jamaica Long Island Railroad Station in Queens, Romare Bearden at Westchester Square, and Vito Acconci at 161st Street Yankee Stadium stations in the Bronx. Sarah Z at 96th Street and Allison Sarr at Metro North's Harlem 125th Street station in Manhattan. And then there's Al Loving at Broadway Junction and Robert Wilson at Coney Island stations in Brooklyn. I'm excited to know that 54 of these artworks, all of them, are included in an online map of public works by biennial artists created by the Whitney to highlight these legacies and that are now part of the fabric of New York. 4 of the 6 artworks that the Whitney is featuring in Making It Here in their installation are artists that are included in the MTA collection. Among these are Eamon Orhiran, an artist currently in the biennial, and he was commissioned in 2019 to create a 24-panel mosaic at the Bay Parkway station on the N line. Also on display at West 4th Street are examples of artworks by Jane Dixon and Roy Lichtenstein. They're from the Whitney's collection. MTA Arts and Design's permanent works of these 2 artists can be seen at Times Square, 42nd Street. Now, Alex Katz, whose permanent artwork in hand-painted glass is seen right here behind us, and all through the 57th Street station on the F line, will be featured in the Whitney's display at Fordham Road. Now, as you can see, the Whitney's partnership brings even more world-class artwork into the subway system for all to enjoy. It's a partnership that if it's an example of what's to come. We are looking for we certainly have great things in store. Now, to that end, the MTA issued a public offering seeking arts and cultural providers last fall. And we'll be looking to formally launch that program later this year. Our initial partner, Shashama, an organization which provides artists with work, presentation, spaces, and free art workshops, activated some very intriguing and cool spaces at 53rd and 5th and 63rd Drive in Rego Park. Now, we want to say thank you again to the Whitney. This partnership uses the power of art to make spaces inviting. Now, more info, if you'd like to know more info about the world-class art collection we have in the system, you can see it in Contemporary Art Underground. It's a new book that I co-authored with our Deputy Director, Cheryl Hageman. It was released in April, and it's now widely available in stores or online, and of course at the New York Transit Museum. I want to applaud the Whitney for sharing these works from your collection. In doing so, the Whitney is inviting all to their museum, and they're saying to our customers that art is for you. And they're saying, come and see the artworks on the wall and in the biennial, and the exciting works throughout their museum. I want to turn this over to Ida Arude, from the Whitney, and who can share much more about these exciting collaboration. Ida?
Thank you so much, Sandra, and thanks to the MTA for having us. My name is Ida Arude from the Whitney Museum. My colleagues and I are so thrilled for this partnership, Whitney on the Rails. It's incredibly exciting, and it's a chance for the Whitney to bring our art collection, art-making activities, as well as our landmark exhibition, the Whitney Biennial, out of the museum, out of the galleries, and into the world's busiest and most vibrant subway system right here in New York City. It really is a thrilling thing. This is a part of the museum's commitment to connecting more New Yorkers to contemporary arts and artists, and to making art accessible to all of us. And it's particularly exciting because this partnership comes on the heels of the Whitney's new recently launched free admissions programs. Remember this, the Whitney is free to everyone, free for all New Yorkers and everyone, every Friday evening from 5 to 10 p.m. and every second Sunday of the month. Free, free, free. Bring friends, bring family, bring a date, make a night of it. It's really exciting and really wonderful. This partnership also helps us highlight the landmark exhibition, the Whitney Biennial, which is a survey, as Sandra said, of the newest and most interesting ideas in American art and art making from across the country. It brings it right to New York. And it's something that the MTA Arts and Design program already showcases perfectly. As you said, Sandra, 54 artists who are Whitney Biennial artists are already in the subway system, among the nearly 400 artists, I believe, who are featured, commissioned by the Arts and Design program, the MTA Arts and Design program, who are featured in the subway. So it really is an ideal match and a wonderful partnership. And we hope you'll come visit this current iteration of the Whitney Biennial, which has been a part of the New York City cultural landscape since 1932. This is the 81st Whitney Biennial. And how do you get there, you ask? Well, right on the subway system. You take the ACE train to 14th Street, and it's a short walk from there. So what is this partnership, Whitney on the Rails? There's lots of wonderful parts to it. Of course, it's large-scale reproductions of artworks by biennial artists right here in the subway system, West 4th Street, at Fordham Road, and many more to come over the course of the summer. It is art-making activities for all ages, for kids, for adults, in the subway system, and at cultural institutions easily accessible from the subway or adjacent to the subway. So that's really exciting. And in fact, the first art-making activity is tomorrow Saturday at 10:30 a.m., Union Square, right here in Manhattan. So we hope you'll join us for that. And then a third part of the partnership is a wonderful new digital map that, amongst many other things, highlights the 100-year history of the Whitney Biennial, but also helps you find the 54 Whitney Biennial artists who are located in the subway system across the city. So we hope you'll check that out on whitney.org. Again, on behalf of my colleagues in the Whitney Museum, I want to say thank you to the MTA for your partnership. Thanks for the wonderful work you do for all New Yorkers. And thanks for thinking really expansively about what a commute can be. And we believe art is a big part of that. It's part of the inspiration of life, the joy of life. And the Whitney is happy to play a part in the wonderful work you do. So thank you.
Thank you, ID. Are there any questions? Any questions from the public?
So any questions from the press that we have right now? All right, Sandra, I think you'll close this out real quick.
Yes, one last thing I failed to do, which is a presentation. And I would like to present the signed copy by myself and Cheryl to ID.
Thank you so much. On behalf of my colleagues, thank you very much. It's great.
Perfect. And for those of you watching on the live stream, we now have some great B-roll for the newsrooms to watch of some of the vinyl work that is up in the subway system now. So we will play that for you guys to watch. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you all.
Thank you.